Hello again, mga tropa. Ito na naman si Balbaliw. May nakita na naman ako. Kakaiba naman to. The Hunter naman. Tingnan natin. Mga compilation ng mga paranormal searchers. Ito. Ngayon, tingnan natin kung totoo ba to. Kalukuhan. I-review natin. I-react natin kung ano yan. Ha? Samahan nyo ako. Bago ang lahat. Like and subscribe sa channel ko, mga tropa. Press the button. Okay? Simulan na natin. Okay. Go!
Paranormal investigation team Gengo AP, which translates to fear of ghost gangs, sets out to explore an extremely creepy graveyard located in Thailand. The cemetery grounds hold over 200 bodies that to this day have not been claimed or identified by any friends or family members. No one knows who the unfortunate souls are, and they rest in temporary mass tombs without a name. Paranormal investigators don't explain why there are so many anonymous people buried in the graveyard, but one can only imagine the number of restless spirits that might be stalking those graves. One brave investigator decides to take their investigation to another level by getting down into the cemetery tombs and laying there all alone in the dark.
Parang gago, no? Matutulog doon sa sementeryo. Malapit to. Tingnan natin kung ano mangyari.
It did not go well. A static camera records all of the action as this experiment suddenly takes a terrifying turn.
Tingnan natin. Naka-camera. Naka-ano siya. Uy! Puta! Puta! Puta yun lang yan. May humigit ang t-shirt niya. May humigit ang t-shirt niya. Tama na yun, ha? Uy! Puta! Hinigit siya.
The investigator lays inside the tomb for 20 minutes before suddenly something his t-shirt. The investigator is so terrified that he jumps out of the tomb and runs to his friends as he explains what just happened to him. Something violently pulls him back. He falls hard onto the cemetery ground. And that is when the team decides to just get out of there.
Buti, umalis kayo. Kung hindi, puta patay kayo. Tayo na, no? Grabe, no? Grabe. Yun, hinigit siya. Tayo na ka.
Paranormal investigators from the YouTube channel Paranoia to a secluded forest road in the mountains of Germany. The roadway is said to be haunted by the restless spirit of a young woman named Elizabeth, who tragically passed away in an accident on the road over 40 years ago.
Yan mga ang tawag dyan, yung tawag doon, hindi nananahimik. Kasi mga, hindi siya na-bless. Mga espiritu.
Is quotes. The woman in black.
The
paranoiacs are driving down the long forest road in hopes of capturing anything supernatural on camera. And what happens next is downright chilling.
Ano kaya nangyari? Uy, yun. Uy, shit. Minto. Uy, nawala.
Burada birisi mi vardı bana mı öyle geldi?
Nawala.
Abi o neydi? Öne gitti biraz öne doğru. Çıkalım mı?
Okay, no? Tangina, nawala, no?
Işıkları da çıkartmadım ben daha önce.
Kaiba. Hinahanap nila, oh. Shit. Nawala.
Nereye gitti Cemo?
Ya ben mi yanlış gördüm? Ama bir şey vardı orada.
Ben de bir şey gördüğüm gibi son anda sanki böyle
Aynen son.
gölge sandım. Dikkat et. Sağ ışıkları çıkartmadım.
Abi burada olması gerek. Baksana. Nereye gideceğim?
buraya doğru insan çıkamaz ki.
A strange woman dressed all in black can be seen
You
standing at the
know,
side of the road.
buta tinigilan nila,
The
no?
team is shocked and quickly backs up their car, but the woman has just disappeared. They get out of their car and search, but she's nowhere to be found. 3 months later, the Paranoics team returned to the same road and brought along some friends. They parked their car, set up a static camera, and set out to explore. But while they're away, their static camera captures something truly terrifying.
Ano? Ano yun? Uy, ano? Oh. Silhouette. No, ayun, no. Naglalakad. Ayun. Yung binulugan. Grabe, oh. Kita niyo mga tropa ko. Yun, no. Nawala.
As it records, a translucent apparition walks across the road and disappears into thin air. When the team returns, they don't see anything or anyone around. They don't even discover what they've captured until later when they review the footage.
Kakaiba to. Oh. Ayun, silhouette, oh. Number 3.
Popular Japanese ghost hunters Gakkan, Daikon, and Yasuke from the YouTube channel Clip Store are contacted by a viewer who tells them the story of historic Sabukawa village in Miyazaki Prefecture in Japan. The small Japanese village was built way back in 1597 in a remote area high in the mountains. The mountain village
Very ancient, 1597. Talagang lumang-luma,
has no roads and was a bit dangerous to travel to. So by the mid-1900s, many of the villagers began to leave the settlement. By 1989, the historic 400-year-old Sabakuwa village was completely abandoned. An anonymous viewer tells the ghost hunters that a few years ago, a friend of hers went to visit the decayed, empty houses of Sabakuwa village deep in the mountains. The urban explorer told her he was confronted by an angry old couple who seemed to be living in the abandoned village.
Parang
Strangely,
naistorbo
they told
nila.
him to, quote, leave and die.
Yan ang
Allegedly,
delikado.
only 6
Naistorbo.
months after his journey to the village, in the bizarre meeting, the man passed away. Now the viewer says that as inaccessible as the mountain village is, it seems very unlikely that an old couple would be living there all alone. So considering the odd encounter and the man's subsequent death, the viewer is convinced that the people that her friend met were actually angry, vengeful spirits. The Clip Store team sets out to investigate whether the abandoned Sabakuwa village might be haunted. When they arrive at the location, they realize just how hard it is to reach the town. They have to abandon their car and continue hiking on foot. After they finally arrive at the village, the team decides to split up and meet back in 30 minutes. They all set timers on their phone and go their separate ways to explore. The Dead Night Club Store, where host Gakkan discovers the ruins of an abandoned school. And what happens next is downright creepy.
Ang lupit nila, no?
もう無理だねうん傾いてるしなえ
Ewan, dalawa.
傾いてるしな
Uy,
え
delikado yan. Delikado.
走る足音みたいなしてえ
Uy!
はえめっちゃ誰誰もいるわけないけどさ
He discovers that the building is on the verge of collapse, but still somewhere inside he hears the sound of someone running, followed by a loud bang of something slamming or falling.
ほんとすごい
No.
何
Huh.
手が上がったいやめっちゃなろうとしたのに
Huh.
ちょっと待って
Kaya yun.
30分経ちました。戻ります。
The timer alerts him that the 30 minutes are up. And then there's a strange loud bang from inside the building that seems to agree. He returns to the entrance of the village where he finds fellow investigator Yasuke. The two guys wait for their friend Daikon, but he never shows up. The guys start to get worried and decide to go look for him. After a
Dapat
long
magkakasama
search,
kayo.
they find him in what appears to be a long abandoned house.
Uy,
大ちゃん大ちゃん大ちゃん
ba?
Daikon is confused and possibly dehydrated, just sitting there as if in a
Ba't
daze.
kaya nangyari?
But his camera is still recording. Fearing for his health and safety, they decide to just get out of there and make the long hike back to their car.
Tama.
Later, when they look back at Daikon's captured footage, they are shocked to their cores. He seems to have encountered something absolutely terrifying. The following footage is straight from his camera.
この家めちゃくちゃ綺麗じゃない
Yan.
今まで見た家より一番綺麗な
Yung isa, yung natugad-gad.
結構しっかり残ってる
Mm.
仏壇
Yan, ano kaya?
神棚が置いてある家あるめちゃくちゃしっかり また時計だ
Uy! Eh, ano nangyari sa kanya? Yeah. Nawala. No. Ano nangyari? Wah. Uy. Oh. Ayun! Puta. Inalis na yung kasama nila. Yun o, parang nakatingin sa kanila.
Daikon suddenly sees a bizarre pale face staring back at him from behind the door. In shock, he stumbles back and falls, but when he gets back up, the mysterious, creepy face has disappeared. But then as he turns around, he sees a man wearing a traditional Japanese robe, kneeling at a Buddhist altar on the other side of the abandoned home. Later, when his friends find him, and Gakan walks outside, the same terrifying apparition of the man in the robe can be seen in the window, just watching as they leave.
Bikad yan.
Number 2.
Popular Japanese paranormal YouTube channel, Wamagatoki
Wamagatoki, ah.
received a horrifying
Puro sa
video
Japan,
of a
ah.
woman
Puro
who
sa
wishes
Japan.
to remain anonymous. They refer to her only under the alias Nakayama. Nakayama claims that her grandmother had a very strange but strict rule for anyone visiting her home, which was never go upstairs. Nakayama claims that she heard creepy sounds coming from the second floor and once saw a shadow figure quickly passing through the hallway at the top of the stairs. After the creepy experience, Nakayama told the sad story of her grandmother's sister. Almost 40 years ago, the sister was living upstairs on the second floor. She was happily engaged to be married. However, the engagement was broken off by her fiancé right before the wedding. Soon after, the heartbroken woman went missing and was never seen again. Her room on the second floor has been locked and off limits ever since. Nakayama is now a grown woman and her grandmother has since passed away. As the last living relative, she now owns the property and is considering selling it. One evening, she goes to her grandmother's house gathering her courage. She records a video as for the first time ever. She goes to the second floor and approaches the locked door of the forbidden room. And that is when things take a terrifying turn.
O kaya, ano kaya nangyari? Ayan, ang flashlight yan, ang hina ng ilaw. Opo. Okay. Uy!
The eyes of someone or something can be seen peeking out at her
May
from the
dumungaw.
back of the locked door. When paranormal investigators Hiro, Tomo, and the cameraman saw the video, they were shocked, and they decided to visit the creepy, allegedly haunted house to investigate. With Nakayama's permission, they take the lock off the door upstairs and go inside the mysterious forbidden room. The room inside appears to be rotting, and the team finds old photos of a woman wearing a kimono. They also find some very strange objects, including a doll, a covered mirror, and a traditional Japanese dress hanging from a cupboard. The team begins to get a strange feeling that something is very off about this room.
怖いねこの部屋。
空気がやばい
Ba?
感じがするよね。なんかこの
Parang mabaho?
おかしいおかしいおかしい。でもあんなさこの写真撮るまで話が進んでて破談したき。
そういうことをその話を信じるならねちょっとなさんにさ、もうちょっと詳しく聞いた方がよくないかこれちょっといいよ
Guys.
おかしすぎるって普通じゃないよ、
普通じゃない。
この写真ってさ、あれでしょ結婚式のそんなドレスでしょ顔がもうちょっと
Oh, yun, yun.
いや違うやばいってやばいこれ
Uy! Nangyari?
顔がもうちょっと
Uy, uy. Yun. Nakita nyo? Nakita nyo?
The face of a woman in one of the creepy old photos appears to move to look back at the team. The three friends are getting freaked out more and more.
Grabe, no?
They try to stay calm for the sake of their investigation, but little do they know, things are about to get even scarier.
Uy! Paramdam.
何としまったなんでしまった今
開いてたよね開いてた開いてたよ
開いてた
開けて
でも
いないよいやいないよいるわけない
Hina ng flashlight nyo.
いないいない
Wala ba kayong flashlight na
The
malakas?
door to the hallway suddenly slams shut, even though there's no one upstairs with them. Obviously freaked out,
Yeah.
they feel like they should end their investigation very soon.
Dapat.
But what
Dapat lang.
happens next is downright chilling.
また人じゃあそこ影いやいや人影は見てない。あ、
No.
人としてすいません。あ、誰かいます？ちょっと開けますよ。
Uy!
どうされたんですか？あ、そうですか。一人ですか？あ、中を見に来られたんですか？
Ah, ano yun?
いや全然。まああれもしあれだったら、全然。いやまあ別に。
Ano yun? Ano yun? Ano yun? Hmm? Ba, ano yan?
なんかちょっと体調悪そうですけど大丈夫です？様子が？
Ba? Ano yun? Ano yun? Ano yun? Ano yun? Oh. Ah, puta. Eh.
ちょっともう行こう。
Ano yan? Ano yan nangyari?
もう一回出よう。今おかしいですよ。
Oh.
あれ何？やばくない？
Watching us. Oh.
The three friends are baffled and shocked. They have no idea why Nakayama is suddenly acting so bizarre. The guys decide to leave, but they don't feel right about leaving Nakayama alone in the house. So they return to the home, and when they go back inside, they discover that Nakayama has disappeared. After a little discussion, investigator Tomo feels competent enough to do a solo investigation inside the forbidden room all alone. The rest of the team waited downstairs as Tomo stayed behind with nothing but a camera. And let's just say, this did not go well.
今隣に大きいタンスがあるんですけど、その中に誰かいる。さっきからなんかボソボソ喋る声とすっごい失明をね
Lakas ng loob mo, ah.
感じる。今隣のタンスに誰かいる。この隙間から誰かが覗いてる。
Eh. Oh, ano siya, natugalgal.
トムさんオナウス。オナ。いないね。
Horrified, Tomo begins to see movement inside a nearby cupboard and calls for his friends, Hiro and cameraman. They hurry upstairs and together they open the door, but nobody is inside. The team has finally had enough and they got out of there after this investigation. The team says that they've made multiple attempts to reach out to the woman Nakayama, but they haven't
No.
heard from her since.
Number one.
Popular Chinese ghost hunter Zhao Long is back with another exploration
Wow.
of an extremely haunted location in China.
China naman sa
A
China.
house that has been long abandoned for over 20 years. The mysterious house is very different from the other local buildings around. It looks like something right out of a medieval fairy tale. All that's known about the large estate is that the last owner was a very wealthy man whose life was taken under very strange and tragic circumstances. The house never sold as many bizarre rumors began to circulate that the home was cursed. Locals began to refer to the estate as, quote, the haunted house.
Haunted house naman.
So Zhao Long sets out to investigate whether the building is truly haunted or if it's all just local legend that started because of the house's odd appearance. As always, Zhao Long broadcasts his exploration live to his Chinese live stream audience. He heads inside and immediately discovers the odd interior of the house matches the extravagant outside, and our ghost hunter gets a little creeped out by the decor.
操他妈，这也太他妈吓人了！这都是我告诉你，这都是吸血鬼住的屋。
Chinese to Chinese. Ghost hunter. Chinese. Oh, ano yun? Bakit?
操你妈！我寻思撞个人呢。
Now Zhao Long begins to ask some questions directed at any spirits that might inhabit the house, but not in Chinese.
Who are you? I'm here. Yeah, I'm 害怕呀。
Oh,
Oh my god.
sige.
Oh my god. What are you doing? 我怎么越来越瞅着有点像那种鬼屋的感觉了呢？像不像那国外那种鬼屋的感觉？
Eh,
我操你妈，这啥玩意儿啊？这啥回事？
eh, kumakalampag.
操你妈！
Nawala. Oh. Hmm.
哎呦我操你妈，鸡皮疙瘩出来了！我操你！
Okay ba, no?
你看到这窗户没？虫子哪能干他妈这大呀？再说是风的情况下，那后边的叶子咋不动呢？看后边的草，操你妈！
After Zhao Long asks a few questions in English, a window begins to oddly shake and vibrate on its own. The ghost hunter points out that the leaves behind the window don't move, eliminating the possibility that it might have been the wind or a draft. Then he hears something coming from downstairs, and that's when things take a terrifying turn.
Kaya yun. No. Uy. Uy. Gumagalaw. Ano ba yun? Oh, tayo. Sinipa niya. Sinipa niya. Oh, buka dito. Takbo.
Two folding trestles move on their own. They almost appear to be walking, and that's when he runs over and kicks the living bejesus out. Anyway, Zhao Long runs outside and takes a break to gather his courage. He then returns and continues to explore. On the second floor, he looks through a window and sees a car parked outside nearby. He becomes concerned that the locals might have alerted somebody about the ghost hunter's secret visit to the house. He doesn't know it yet, but that is about to be the least of his worries, because what happens next is downright chilling.
Buti may dumating. Oh, yun, oh, yun. Takbo. Oh.
A shadowy figure can be seen standing at the window. In the next room, he quickly runs over, but there's nobody there. Shocked by what he's witnessed, he once again runs outside,
Yeah.
but he isn't done just yet. He finds that whoever had parked their car and was snooping around has left. So he heads back inside to investigate once again, and it didn't go so well.
Oh. Ano yan? Uy! Ano yan? Ah, siya. Oo. Ah, takbo.
Zhao Long looks into a mirror and sees someone or something
Oy.
standing behind him. And when he turns around, there's nobody there. Whoever or whatever
Ngutay.
he saw standing behind him in the mirror has disappeared in a split second. And that is going to wrap it up for today, you guys. I hope you
Walang
liked the video.
hiya,
Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't...
Ayan, tropa. Grabe. Iba to, iba. Alam mo, mas maganda to. Kakaiba, no? Ito parang ano, iba talaga. Mas convincing to. Kakaiba siya. Talaga nakakatakot. O, ayan. Sa susunod din tayo, mga tropa. Bau! Paalam!